Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tom. I'm back with another video. In this video I wanted to talk about, if you're coming to the Philippines, and really this would apply whether you're coming here to visit, or especially if you're coming for a decent length of time, like a month, or maybe you're going to be 2 or 3 months, something like that, right? But certainly this would apply if you're coming here to live. I wanted to talk about some of the best debit cards to have, right? Like US Bank debit cards that you should own or have accounts with, that you can use in the Philippines and have like zero or very little ATM fees, okay? And I just wanted to put this together. I've mentioned this information on past videos, but I just wanted to make just a video on this, so it's kind of easy for you guys to, just digest, you know what I mean? Because this is important, these fees are, it's like $4.50 per usage, okay, of a fee. That's $4.50 USD fee every time you withdraw like 185 bucks, which is like 10,000 pesos, which is usually the limit that they now will give you. Most of the US banks, when you use the ATMs in the Philippines here, there's like usually a 10,000 peso limit per, not per day, but just per use. You know what I mean? You could sit there and do 3 in a row, and get like 30,000 peso if you want to, okay? Because I've done it before. But I mean, per use, it's like 10,000 peso limit, okay? But that also means you're paying for, if you had some other bank that doesn't waive the fees, you're paying $4.50 per use, so that could add up, in a month, that could be $50, or whatever, So anyway, I want to give you these debit cards so you know. Number one is the Schwab card, which I own actually, or I have, and a lot of guys do, a lot of expats do have them. It's a high yield checking or savings. As long as you have a debit card with that account, it could be a savings too, doesn't have to be a checking account, okay? But yeah, you'll have, your fees will be waived, and there's no limit on it, so that's like that's the number one card that I would tell you, Doesn't hurt to get, if you're going to get a Schwab bank account, might want to think about maybe get a brokerage account too, you know what I mean? Because you could wire money over here from a brokerage account a lot easier than you can with a bank if you had to do that. But also, if you invest in the stock market, you know what I mean? You can use it, and, fees aren't that high, So anyway, but definitely the debit card is definitely worth your while. And also, this is kind of a newer one, the Capital One 360 bank accounts, okay? They apparently do waive, the fees also on international ATM usage, But you might want to, if you already have an account with them or whatever, you might want to clarify with them. But you might have to talk to like the debit card part of the company, you know what I mean? Like the regular customer service may not be able to give you that information, But anyway, but this card is, and their accounts are good, man. Their savings accounts are paying like, I think is it 4% or 4.5%? I think interest rate right now. Yeah, it's either 4, maybe it's 4%, but it's a good rate, for a savings account for interest rates, compared to like a lot of banks which are paying like nothing, like half a point, tenth of a point, whatever, ridiculously low amounts of interest, that have not been adjusted necessarily for inflation. Some other American banks, unless maybe you call them and tell them, hey, complain to them, and they might up your interest rate on your savings account. But anyway, yeah, that's a good one. Capital One 360, Schwab, like I first said, and Fidelity, okay, is another financial company, that you can have a financial account with them, bank account or whatever, and have a card, an ATM card and they also have no fees. Now these are a couple other sort of like other good ones, but they're not free. Okay, the USAA Bank Debit Card is apparently, I don't think it's free, but you might. But if you own one, if you already have a USA bank account, check with them. You know, to double check with them. But as far as I know, but they have very low fees. So in other words, it's only like a $2 fee per usage, and then it's 1%. Well, if you're only taking out, let's say $200 USD or whatever, that's $2 more. So it's like $4 total. I mean, yeah, it adds up, right? Like if you do it again, if you do it, you know, you got to do it like 10 times a month. It's going to add up. But compared to other banks in the U.S. that are just you're gonna pay like a lot more than that. Some of them even charge like 3% or whatever, you know, plus an actual ATM fee, you know. And then there's Wells Fargo, okay? If you have a Wells Fargo account, but I think the thing with Wells Fargo is in order to get the no fee ATM, you know, availability, you have to have, it's either $25,000 or $50,000 in their bank. But again, if you have one of these accounts, you know, if you already have an account with them, check with them. You know, because it was a little unclear. It seemed like it was an overall portfolio of $50,000 that you needed or something like that to have your international ATM fees waived. Okay, but it could be $25,000. Okay, and then I think, what was I going to say? Yeah, with I think it was with Capital One, they said that there could be a flat usage fee from the ATM also, but I don't know if that's the case. I mean, you know, but they said that they would reimburse that fee also, up to $15 a month. You know, but as far as I know, there's no additional fee. You know, like it's just usually it's 250 peso fee. You know. From the ATM or whatever, but that's, you know, so I don't know if that's what they're talking about. If that's what they're talking about, that means they would reimburse maybe 3 or 4 times a month, and that would be it. But if that's, you know, the 250 peso would be included in the reimbursable part from the get-go, then you would have no fees at all, you know. But yeah, those are the top accounts. Okay, now there's some other banks that I found that were listed as having like either very low fees or no fees, but I don't know, it just seemed it was a little more complicated. Like it wasn't really as cut and dry as like Schwab is or whatever, you know. So I'm just going to give you the best ones. You know, those first 3 that I gave you, those are the best. You know what I mean? And then those other 2 are kind of like also rans. You know, they're not bad. You know, like if you already have them, inquire about them. You know what I mean? Like USAA and Wells Fargo. If you already have those accounts, then check with them. You know, and maybe, you know, like with the Wells Fargo, if you got enough money in there, man, take advantage of it. Use that debit card internationally. You know. But other than that, yeah, if you're just starting out, you don't have any of those bank accounts, you know, I would certainly recommend like Schwab or the Capital One or, you know, Fidelity. Those seem to be like about the top 3. So, you know, because it's so much better to be able to use your ATM card here, even when you're visiting. You know, what do you really want to bring? Like, you know, you're coming here for a month, you got to bring like 3,000 cash with you or whatever for the month. Then you got to like, okay, I got to put a lot of it, you know, in my. Hopefully, you have a safe in your hotel room. You know what I mean? You got to worry about all that. Like, it'd be so much better just to bring emergency cash. You know what I mean? Like $500 cash, USD, or maybe $1,000 at the most, but not have to really use it that much, or, you know, whatever. And you can use your ATM card instead, you know, and just get money as you need it. It's so much more convenient, you know. So that's about it, guys. That's all I wanted to say on this one. I hope this helps you guys out a little bit. And I appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe, share, everything. So, all right, guys. Today's Sunday in the Philippines, so have a great day. I'll see you guys later.